All right, guys, I want to welcome you to the Do Work Podcast. Do Work Podcast is a weekly podcast where we discuss all things motivation, mindset, entrepreneurship, and how to live your best life possible. Today is no different. So today is day 29, and the last almost 31 days now has been super awesome. I think we've covered a nice array of topics. So today is going to be a little different. There's this really awesome quote. Where was I? I don't know. But the quote popped in my head and I had to look it up because I was like, I realized I didn't really know the quote in its entirety. But the short version is the saying essentially you'll hear is do what you love and let it kill you. So before we start, let me preface, no one should kill themselves. I'm not telling you to kill yourselves. We're going to be going through a quote, breaking it down and assessing what it means on a very deep level. All right. So if you don't know, you're in your 31 days of motivation and mindfulness podcast. Why is my mic like way over there? All right, there we go. I bet you that's going to sound completely different in a minute. 31 days of mindfulness and motivation podcast every day was just about touching on a topic that will just help improve the quality of our lives, personally, professionally, and even spiritually. So today's no different. So let's talk about it. Do what you love and let it kill you. So first, I'm going to read the quote in its entirety, which probably doesn't help the case of the quote, but we're going to read it in its entirety anyway. All right. So the quote is technically this: find what you love and let it kill you. Let it drain you, your all. Let it cling onto your back and weigh you down until eventual nothingness. Let it kill you and let it devour your remains. Dr. Charles Bukowski. Now, I know that sounds super dark, right? But we're tapping into our motivation side right now, okay? Something about that is so real because what I hear when I hear that quote is that you need to have an unwavering level of commitment. You need to have an unwavering level of dedication, of focus. That's what I'm hearing. These are the things that I'm hearing. So though it says, find what you love and let it kill you, I don't even take that literally. But what I do here is find what you love. And like, if it's going to be your demise, I get it, but give your all. Because if you're doing something to death, literally, because this is what this is saying, do it to death. It just means you've given your all. So this goes back to some of our previous days where we talked about being fearless and we talked about having faith and being yourself. Like, you have to give your all day in and day out. Find what you love and let it kill you. Metaphorically speaking, that's how intense your focus has to be on you achieving those personal and professional goals. That's how intense it has to be. I love this quote. I'm probably going to get this quote tattooed on me. I don't know. I love this quote. The other part, let it drain you from your all. So you want to do it so well that it literally takes everything out of you. You want to leave it on the floor, as we used to say in dance school. In sports, when I used to play basketball, you leave it on the court. You should not have anything left. You should not get finished working and pursuing whatever you're pursuing and still have all this energy to do other stuff. Like, if you're committed, we're talking all in. Let it cling onto your back and weigh you down to eventual nothingness. Yo, this shit is dark, but it's awesome. Let it cling on your back. It should consume you. When we talk about greatness, people leave out obsession. And you can't. To be great, you have to obsess. You must obsess over those goals. Both personal and professional, you have to obsess. And if you're obsessing over something, you don't see anything else. You don't hear anything else. You don't do anything else that is not related to the immediate goal. So if something is weighing you down on your back, here, we're talking about obsession. Greatness is found within obsession. If you're not obsessing over your goals, you ain't there yet. You're not there yet. If you're not feeling partly crazy for wanting to think and be so big, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. Let it kill you and let it devour your remains. Let it absolutely obliterate and destroy you. I'm all for it. I recently have been going through some things and I was like, yo, like, and this quote popped in my head. It was like, do what you love and let it kill you. You know, fitness is my life. Entrepreneurship, the journey of entrepreneurship is part of my life. Like, I am going to do that the death till the day I die. I am so passionate about that I'm not walking away from any component of it. It's a goal, it's something I want to achieve, it's something I want to work on. So I'm willing to give my all. Like, no, really give my all. Which is why some days Diva only gets 3 hours of sleep. Because I'm working and I'm pursuing some things. And sleep is getting in the way sometimes. Now, can I live like that? No. Sleep is getting in the way sometimes. Do what you love. Let it kill you. Own it. Let it consume you. Be obsessive over your goals. That is the only way to greatness. If you're not obsessing, you are not on the road to greatness. You listen to any of the greats talk. I was listening to a Kobe Bryant talk the other day, and he literally said, I obsessed over the game. You hear Michael Jordan say how much he obsessed over the game. You hear Conor McGregor say, this is my obsession. C.T. Fletcher, my magnificent obsession. You have to obsess over these things. You have to, it has to feel like it's going to destroy you. That's how hard you got to go. That's how hard you got to push. That's how hard. And I think that if you get to that place, that's when when you get to that place, that's when things start to change. When you get to that place, that's when things start to change. It has to be an obsession. You obtaining your goals has to be an absolute obsession. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? It has to be an absolute obsession. And until you obsess over it, it's not happening. Obsess is like, I eat, sleep, think, breathe this, drink this. Nothing else exists. And very few people get to that point. And when you get to that point, that's when they call you crazy. That's when they call you crazy. Do what you love. Let it kill you. Let it destroy you. Let it weigh you down. Let it consume, get sucked into it. There's a time and a place for everything. But when we talk about growth and change, and you want to be great, you have to obsess over these things. It's a must. It's a must. It's a must. 31 days of mindfulness and motivation. Again, the quote tonight that kind of really set it off was by Dr. Charles Bukowski. Find what you love. Let it kill you. Let it drain you from your all. Let it cling onto your back and weigh you down to eventual nothingness. Let it kill you. Let it devour your remains. Let your goals you obsess over those goals. Let it overtake you. Let it be what you eat, sleep, and breathe. And that is what is going to get you on your path to greatness. If you're not obsessing over it, you're not going to get there. I promise you. You're not going to get there. No way, shape, or form are you going to get there. My magnificent obsession. C.T. Flesher talks about it all the time. If you don't know who he is, you need to go find out. He's an amazing man. My magnificent obsession. All right, guys. I want to thank you for tuning in, to the Do Word Podcast. We're a weekly podcast. We discuss all things motivation, mindset, entrepreneurship, and how to live the best version of your life possible. Today clearly was no different. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the newsletter. Go over to divarichards.com and subscribe to our bi-monthly newsletter. And also follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you stream and get your podcasts. That's where you go. All right? All right, fam. Look, remember, nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. Let's go.